somebody who can be my front and be like my kind of like my spokesman, then that's that's going to help. That's going to keep the people I want unified, because they realize, all right, I got a badass warrior. Beginning of the first movie, the aliens say to each other, "Have you ever faced a Jedi before?" And that's what he means. Is that don't you realize that when you fight a Jedi, when you face a Jedi, you got to realize if he thinks he's in danger and he's going to die, he will kill everybody who's in danger to him. Who is a danger to him, and that starts with you, and goes to the last guy willing to follow your order. So, and so they realize that that's why they can get an army, because it's hard to get people organized around this idea. Oh, well, we need to fight, but they can get a droid army and operate in secret because it's all about manufacture and money. So that's why the trade alliance. You can imagine that there's a Galactic Republic, but there becomes basically this one species which kind of dedicates itself towards transport, and that's the Trade Federation. And so they have robotics and everything trade, but they're actually, I believe what it is, the Trade Federation is actually a couple different species unified together, whose sole purpose is trade. But it's like the pilots for the trade, the managers, the financiers, and the production facilities, and the technology experts as well. So that's like these different planets which want to specialize in those areas. They were kind of like the Trade Federation, and so they were embargoing Naboo because of whatever financial thing, and it was just, that's just whatever pretext, but they had an army to embargo it with, and they weren't really there. They weren't ready to the point to mobilize for a conflict, and they were kind of real hesitant to do it. That's why, Darth Sidious basically had to push them into doing it. But there's an embargo. It's like, look, these people aren't paying us. We want them to pay us. We're not going to lift the embargo until, they agree to negotiate. So the Jedi Council is like, well, all right, then we will send our best agent, our best Jedi, who's Qui-Gon, Qui-Gon Jin. And yeah, Qui-Gon Jin is their best Jedi, and he's trained Jedi before. They know he's a very good Jedi, and they know he's a very good trainer. And Obi-Wan is assigned to him, because I think they realize by this point Obi-Wan is a very good Jedi. He is ready to go. He really knows his stuff, and he's basically going to be the brightest, of this class. This next generation is coming up. So why not put the best guy with the best guy? And then we have this actually very delicate kind of situation. There's violence potentially involved, in which case that's why you send a Jedi. The situation can be either totally peaceful or go totally ballistic in a moment. And that's what you use the Jedi for. And so that's what they do. They go in there and like, all right, we're here to negotiate. We're here to talk to the representatives, okay? Or to the chancellor of the Trade Federation, or the guy in charge of the Trade Federation. And it's like, okay, wait right here. He'll be right down. Hey, they're gassing us. All right, and it's like, let's hold our breath and wait. And that's when they realize, okay, there is no diplomatic situation, no diplomatic resolve to this conflict. We have to exercise. These guys try to kill us. They are therefore judged as guilty. We exercise that right to and assassinate them on the spot. And that's what they do. They go right for the captain's bridge, and they're nearly getting through. And they realize, all right, we got to get some higher firepower in there. So they manage to do that. And Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan skedaddle. And they realize, hey, there's an invasion going on. We actually need to take advantage of this and get the princess off the planet. The princess and whoever else we can off the planet, because, if anything, that can help. It's like if you need a witness to basically what's going on, get the person in charge. Also, because she needs to operate. She needs to plead to the people, or plead to the Senate for action resolve. And I think What else? Well, it's by chance. It's kind of like this. They almost don't. They aren't talking about, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. They're not talking to each other about what they're doing. They just know, like, well, let's get down to the planet. And then it's like, all right, well, let's try to get into the city. Let's try to find the princess. Let's, let's break her out. But they're almost not talking to each other about it. And even then, when you think about it, well, how did they get there? What are they doing, actually? What they did was they came across a guy. And they're like, well, where are we? Like, well, you're on the far side of the planet. You need to get to the other side. Well, can we do that? Well, you can, and this is what Jar Jar's basically saying to them. I can, there's nothing really I can do. If you want, I can, take you back to my home. And they might be able to help you. It's like, okay, yeah, do that. And he's like, I don't want to do that. Like, no, take us with you. Because that's what Jedi do. Is like, if Chance steps in, take Chance. Go with Chance, So they go down, check it out. They talk to him, say, all right, well, we need to get to, talk to so-and-so. Okay, well, go through the planet's core. And, yeah, here, take this guy. You guys probably die, who knows, whatever. Just get him out of here, He's a troublemaker. They're like, okay, so they do that. And they manage to get into the city and just happen across the princess. So they free the princess and the people around her, their security manager, and they say, like, all right, well, you know what, let's get you off the planet. And like, all right, well, where are the ships? They go get the ships, take off. They have to hide out, so they go hide out on Tatooine. And like, all right, we got a broken motor, we need to get it fixed. So they try figuring out what to do, and it's just smacks them right in the face. They say, like, this is the first place we walked into. I walked into this place by chance, because remember, this is what Qui-Gon is thinking. I walked into this place by chance. I came across this interesting guy. This is the only place that has the thing I need. This is the Force directing me which way to go. Because Qui-Gon is like, the best, Jedi rowing, out there, is this idea. That's why they sent him to negotiate. That's why he survived so far. He's been involved in, like, so far, the invasion of a planet, and survived. The Qui-Gon gets it into his mind that, this kid is special. If this kid is already displaying Jedi-like powers, and the Force is really strong, and then he gets the little, exam done, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, this kid is like liquid Force, it's like literally the Force is just oozing out of this kid's pores. Holy cow, we got to get this guy back, and that becomes mission number 2. But it's also like, well, I think, we got here by chance, this kid is supposed to be here. Because, as the mom says, like, I don't know, he just appeared. And Qui-Gon is like, oh my God, lady, this is the chosen one. This is the fabled, one that will bring balance to the Force or whatever. And because they're religious, the religious nuts, or the training. They do the pod race, episode 1. They get Anakin back to Coruscant. And there's 2 different things going on, but they bring Anakin into Coruscant, and they bring him to the Jedi Council, and the Jedi Council, and they're also like, well, what was this guy you fought who was all in black? And like, I think he was a Sith. And this guy was like just exuding, the Force, but like negative, and this guy was just amazing. He fought so well. I narrowly escaped. It's like, okay. So they're like, wow, that's something to keep an eye out for. So that's why, they first started realizing, oh, the Sith are out there. But they just didn't know what they're looking for. Palpatine, you got to realize too, is by this point he has a lot of power. He has a lot of influence in the Senate because he's using the dark side of the Force. He's controlling people, and part of that is like through power. He basically offers them power. Or he convinces them that if you do what I say, you're going to get power, and even like gives them like little rewards of power here and there too. And like, yeah, that's what the part of the Force is, that it just feeds on power. And if you know how to manipulate it in such a way that, well, no, this guy wants power, that's what's going to help you. That's what always, that's why Palpatine is he can't really be beaten because he has infinite access to the Force, which is like an infinite